Hello and welcome guys, it is ThatSrb2DUDE here today, bringing you yet another episode of the Splatoon competitive guide. Now, first of all, I would like to apologize for not bringing this series out more often. It's been like 2 weeks since the last episode. Reason for this is because real life stuff has to come first, so as that's all over now, I'm going to be pushing this series as much as I possibly can. Basically, when I'm not working, when I have a day off, this is what I'm going to be working on. I'm going to be putting a lot of dedication to this series because I want this to go really far. Anyways, without further ado, today's episode is that we are going to be going through the callouts of Walleye Warehouse. Now this level is very easy to learn the callouts. There are just a couple callouts that you really need to know and then some that you don't really need to know, but this is what we're going to be going through today and I hope you guys enjoy. Now there are multiple snipe callouts that I would like to show you guys. This area is known as the main snipe area, or we don't call it main snipe area, but it's called snipe. So that's all you need to really know. Is this area is called snipe. Of course, you'll most likely find a sniper like a splatterscope or eliter, most likely eliter because you have a lot more range to work with. Moving on a little bit to the left of that, this is called the snipe grate. You're more commonly to find eliters here because they have a good line of sight around the street there and the right box. And this area here is also another sniping position, which is known as crate. You could be either calling out their crate or your crate, most likely their crate. But with this call out, you want to be making sure if they're on the crate or anything like that, or below the crate, because there are multiple call outs with crate. So with crate, there is a left side of their crate, a right side of their crate, front of their crate, and back of their crate. Calling out what position of the crate they are actually at, it'll help your team out to actually know where specifically where the person's going to be. Because you could be calling out, oh, there's one at crate. They could be at the right of the crate, the left of the crate, on the top of the crate, or the front of the crate. Your teammates will not know if you don't be specific about it. So if you can, try to be specific because it will help your team out a lot. Now, there are two more areas that I would like to mention off, and this area is called pit. Of course, it's called pit because it looks like a pit. And there is another area right up top of that, which is known as plat. Now, the reason why I would like to mention these two places specifically, because this is the majority of the time you're going to be seeing people coming from here when they're just spawning in. Like when you're holding like the Splat Zone, you usually see people running around there, so it's also important to call out, hey, there's one at pit, and he's gone to the back of their crate. That call out does generally happen a lot because that's what most people do in Splat Zones. In Tower Control and Rainmaker, if you've just killed everyone and you just got an ace, people usually do run straight there, so you can call out if there's two or more on the pit or plat. And it's just basically stuff like that. It's just a very important area that I would like to mention. Now, I've probably just thrown a bunch of callouts in you guys' faces right now, so I would just like to quickly recap of what we've gone through so far. Now, this area is known as snipe, this area is known as the snipe grate, and this area is known as the crate. Now these three areas are all the snipe areas that you really need to know of. There aren't any really other snipe areas that you need to make note of, but I just like to mention these ones. Now remember with crate, there are multiple callouts. If somebody is on the floor next to the crate, they could either be at the front of their crate, left of their crate, right of their crate, or back of their crate. This will differ if, however, you're looking at it. If someone's next to your crate, they'll be on your left of your crate, your right of your crate, and so on and so forth. And you guys have just learned these two ones. This is known as pit and this is known as plat. Remember, these are the areas that you're going to most likely be calling out when somebody has just spawned in. Now this area is known as long. Of course, it's being called that because it's the longer way to get into the central area. You can call it elbow because it somewhat does look like that, but we call it long because, well, that's just my team. You're just used to saying that. Anyways, this area, you should expect to see people come through here, usually in Tower Control, Rainmaker, sometimes in Splat Zones. Personally, I use this area to break the central area if we're having difficulty getting the zone back. So, sending one or two people through there just to get the zone back, it helps to get map control and all that type of good stuff. Now, these are some pretty important areas that I highly recommend that you learn as a call out. This one, of course, being called left box, of course, because the box is there and it's on the left. And there is also another one that's on the right, which is called right box, of course. Now, both of these boxes, they both have walls next to them. Of course, you'll just call one left wall and the other right wall. It's pretty self-explanatory right there. It's very, very important to have control of both these sides. Now, it is very important that you can keep control of both these sides because it disables the opposing team from actually getting into the central area. If you're able to maintain these two sides, you'll have a much easier chance of winning the game. Now, this area is known as closed, and you really want to keep control of their close. Basically, if someone pushes through, you can pretty much lose the central area very, very quickly. It's like another solution instead of going through long. Usually, when I play this map, I use a 96 deco, and I personally feel like that's one of the best weapons to actually hold that area, and it's pretty much why you've seen in all my tournament gameplays. When I'm using a 96 deco, I'm always at this specific point. Now, this area isn't really called out, and it's known as top close. But if you do see somebody from here, you might as well just call them out that they're still through closed. You can say top closed if you want to, but I normally say that they're enclosed because they usually drop down anyway. Alright, so this is the last callout that I'm going to teach you guys today, or should I say callouts. So as you can see, I've drawn out the Splat Zone using the charger to make, a rectangle. And I wanted to mention that this is your zone and the other side is their zone. It completely depends on how you're looking at it. The easy way to remember it is if you're coming from spawn, the first part of the zone you see is your zone. And the other part is their zone, of course. It's pretty self-explanatory, so I feel like that was just a thing to mention. It gets called out quite a lot in Splat Zone, so definitely you want to learn how to use that. Sometimes you might call it on tower control and Rainmaker, but usually you call out something else because they don't normally... Well, actually, no, they tend to actually jump there anyway. So use those two callouts because they are very helpful. Anyways, breaking this zone, I want to teach you that, guys. Having projectiles will help a lot. So basically, what I normally do when I'm using the splatter scope, because it has splat bombs, I'll throw a splat bomb into their zone. The people that are on the other side in their zone, they usually move out, and it makes it very easy for me to pick off people because they tend to just run away out in the open, and they don't actually realize, oh, there's a splat charger that's going to pick me off. Now, those are pretty much all the callouts that you really need to know. There are others, but like this one I'm standing on right now, which is known as Spawn Crate, and the one below it known as Spawn Plat. These two you don't really need to know unless it's Rainmaker or Tower Control, but when you do call them out, it's sometimes a little bit too late because the tower has reached its destination as well as the Rainmaker reaching the pedestal. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have enjoyed the Walleye Warehouse call out video. Going to be trying to bring out another one of these episodes in the next week. I hope I can do it in the next week. I really want to push this series because I have a bunch of big things for it. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please like, favorite, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Follow me on Twitter and Twitch, both in the description below. Do it for both if you're feeling generous. And as always, guys, this has been ThatSrb2DUDE, and I shall see you guys in a future video.